the Reds, it is Talking Reds, and I'm talking to Connor Phillips, a bit of role reversal from when he was at Radio City and used to ring me up to talk about the Reds. Now I'm ringing him up to talk about the Reds.
Rinsing me for Reds stuff now. I know it's a privilege, because I think I rinsed you boys enough between you and Andy and Gibbo. And I could just kind of name everybody. I rinsed you for the best part of like 3 or 4 years, saying, lads, you want to come on the show? So I think we
loved it. We loved it. You gave us a piggyback. You helped us get where we are now and all the rest of it. It helped people get onto the Anfield Wrap. So we appreciated it. And it's nice to speak to you because you're always such a positive fella. And are you still positive in the here and now about the Reds? Because it's tough to be positive, isn't it?
I said this on, I think, not the last time I was on with you, the time before. And I was interacting with your colleague, Lizzie Doyle, yesterday. We were texting back and forth and stuff we were talking about. And I said the same thing. I said, look, when things are going well, we should never take it for granted. Okay. And you should, by all means, read every tweet, read every article, watch every video and take it all in. Because there will be a point when there's a bit of a plateau. And there'll be a point when you're thinking, bollocks, this is just not what we expected. It should be better than this. We have better players than this. And every now and again, you kind of have to take a wee step back and go, look, take the good times. And more importantly, and you do this very well in the Anfield Wrap, take the shit times, talk about the shit times and recognize that, look, it can get better. It probably will get better, but we are very lucky to have seen and witnessed what we've seen, even in our short lifetimes. Because you and I are just very, very young lads, Robbo, like just that's very right back in the years. No, so I am to answer your question. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to try and stay positive because if you don't, you drive yourself mad.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to be, mate. I mean, there's lots and lots. I'm sure you've seen of think pieces appearing all over the shop. From Henry Winter to Jonathan Wilson to Ollie Kay and the Athletic. His is good, actually, Ollie Kay's. I enjoyed his one. But they're all sort of, Liverpool are the crisis club of choice right now because, we won the league. We won the league at a canter. And now here we are sort of, will they even get top four and all that kind of stuff. And, loads of stuff about the owners again now. Loads of stuff about coulda, woulda, shoulda. My sort of takeaway on, I've read them all. I've read them all, and I think there's areas of grey in every single one would be my thing. It's like, they should have done this. And it's like, yeah, but like even, look, I can take the argument you should have bought a centre-half at the start of January, not the end. I can take that. But who was available and how much were they? Because we don't know that, do we? So we just sort of cast that over and just go, well, they should have just done it anyway. But what was being asked? I don't know. This isn't me doing PR for FSG. I've got no interest. I'm not asked about FSG. All I'm asked about is Liverpool winning games and winning trophies and us all being dead happy. But I just think some of the pieces I've read this morning and yesterday, you're drawing lines and drawing conclusions when you can't possibly know all the in-betweens.
The big breath a lot of us took as Liverpool fans just before the Champions League final just before the Barcelona semi-final is quite similar to what we're feeling now. But it's weird, the emotions are different. So before the victory over Barcelona, we had, as Liverpool fans, gone, okay, we've had a bit of a shit season. We are going to do well to qualify for the Champions League and top four. We're not going to win the league again. It's a bit shit, but we have to accept the situation we're in. Now is weirdly probably the same as in where we are in the league. But because expectations got so high, we're all angry and pissed off and asking questions like that.
Yeah.
Had we not beaten Barcelona at home then after that, many of us would have went, well, do you know what? We got beat 3-0 by Barcelona. Dembele, the idiot, if he had scored the one to make it 4-0, this is where we'd be now. We wouldn't have that Champions League medal. Now, was that the catalyst for winning the league the next year? Potentially. And we could just be exactly now where we were then. So the way my brain goes was, hold on a second. One good result against Barcelona changed the fortunes and changed everything. Okay. Now, my brain said we could have that result against Man City. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be the case. But we have to keep a little bit of reality and go, right, hold on a second. We've had a massive sort of upward trajectory, up, 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 up. And now that it's fallen off a wee bit, we can't be as pissed off as we are. We have to go, right, remember where your brain was just before we beat Barcelona. Because we'd all gone, okay, we'll take top 4.
Yeah.
Take a good run at it next year. The world isn't ending. You look at the players that we've brought in. You look at the likes of Thiago, who's in there now, who's knitted in quite well. You look at what Salah's done. Granted, you look where we are, as in we literally no centre halves for the best part of a month there, like you said. It's not the end of the world, but we're allowed to be a wee bit annoyed.
Yeah, we are in 4th place. We are 3 points behind Leicester. We are obviously playing at the weekend. I mean, so that would go not a long way, but some way to starting to put things right. And this is the thing for me, that there's still 15 league games to contest. There's still the Champions League to contest. I get that people are pissed off. I'm pissed off that it now is, we would need an absolute miracle to win the league. We're not going to win the league. But equally, we've had 30 years where we didn't win the league as well. So I don't know. I'm in betweenish on it all. Like I've read, like I say, I've been reading all the stuff. Kopi wrote something for the site. I quite like some of the points he made in there about the idea that it's the dying of a dream almost that we're pissed off about. So we would have all loved, obviously, for Liverpool to win the league and then go on this mad run of dominance, and all the other clubs that we hate and see as our rivals disappear into the distance.
Yeah.
But I would actually argue, like, all of these mad comparisons that are being made and this worst champions ever bullshit that's going around and things like that, how can you possibly compare any other season to this one? It's so different. There are so many factors at play. And they are not excuses. They are reasons. They are explanations. As you said, there's a centre half. That's, so many injuries in one position and 3 of them are out for the season. Did City have that situation? Did Man United have that situation? And also, Roy Keane, when he had his rant at the weekend, which is what he's employed for at the end of the day, he seems to forget about Man United finishing 7th after winning the league, or Leicester finishing 12th, or Chelsea finishing 10th. There's been plenty of times where champions have found it hard to go and do it again the season after. Someone said to me, compared the recent success to almost like, going, fighting, being on the edge. And then sort of when it was done and when you'd finally won the league after 30 years, almost like sitting back a bit and, the button popping on your trousers and just a big like, we've done it. And then it's sort of like, that we've done it might be another bit that is psychologically feeding into these displays. There's so many reasons, I think, and people are trying to be simplistic about it.
Yeah, but we've done it. And you can drop your shoulders a little bit now, but we've done it, followed by a league season where you have the maddest results. You concede 7 against Aston Villa. You score 1 billion against Crystal Palace, and then you end up losing to Brighton and losing to Burnley at Anfield, having had one of the best home records in the history of the club. And then you look at, Leeds are bonkers to watch at the moment, but they're class to watch. They're getting hammered one week and then they're winning games people aren't expecting. Man United scored 9 a couple of weeks ago. Didn't Man City concede 6 at one time this season? So, right, you have the button popped and then you have that situation and you go, fuck, this is a bit mad. And then you go, right, you lose Virgil van Dijk, who was phenomenal, a man who was up there for the Ballon d'Or last year or whatever they're calling it now, the greatest or whatever. You lose him and you think, okay, well, look, what we have is at least we've got the stopgap of Joe Gomez, who is an England international, and he's a fabulous centre-half. Oh, and then he's gone. Okay, let's see. Right, you've got Joel Matip there, who's a really good centre-half, and he'll do a job for you. Oh, he's gone as well. And then you see some of the youngsters stepping up and they're doing well, and then you go, he's not on the list for the Champions League. How the hell do we do this now? And all of a sudden it starts to unravel. So I'm kind of agreeing with all the points you're making. But at the same time, there is going to be a little wobble here because no fans in the stadium. Nobody has any fans in the stadium. It's all bonkers. We have one of the worst injury crises that I ever remember as a Liverpool fan in defence. Okay, apart from that time, we had to buy your man Jan Kronkamp, and he played fucking 15 games or something. And you go, how the hell did that boy get medals? But I do sort of always step back and say, look, every team who's been successful in winning the Premier League have had this. Man United had a swathe of years where they were the best team, and their midst wobble. Chelsea have had a swathe of Premier League wins. They're the most successful club since the year 2000. They're not doing well at the moment. Man City have the money behind them. It looks like they could win the league at a canter. Leicester, like you said, they dropped off, but they're done well at the moment. We cannot say it's going to be dominance by any club, and specifically now in a season like we're in.
Yeah, it is that way. I was just trying to quickly find. It's just been bugging me. It's been in my head for a bit. So Liverpool won the title last year. City the year before. City the year before that. Chelsea the year before that. Leicester the year before that. Chelsea the year before that. City the year before that. Oh, there's Man United 2013. Why are these pricks piping up everywhere? Like, why am I getting dogs abuse off United fans? They've been winning nothing, and they're still going to win nothing. They're not going to win the league. So, I mean, I get it. Like, it's like, but with the champions now, we won the league. Like, the thing I liked in Kopi's piece as well is the idea that, and, Klopp come out with it, didn't he, about, we'll go and do the parade. Whenever it'll be, we'll go and do the parade. Now, no one foresaw a situation whereby the situation is going on this long. So now the parade probably isn't going to happen, because it'd be a bit ridiculous to be doing a parade when you're not champions anymore. But obviously no one thought that was going to be the case. And, even as recently as, a month ago, or not a month ago, December were top of the league. And if the pandemic was in a different place then, and bearing in mind we had 2,000 fans in the ground in December as well, so it felt like we're starting to see the light. And so you're starting to see the light. Liverpool are top of the league. You've got fans in the ground. You're thinking, we could still do this parade. All of those things have now been shattered. Not only can we not win the league, we're probably not having this parade. Klopp's getting narky. Klopp's kicking off on journalists. All the journalists are writing Liverpool pieces and obituaries about Liverpool, and FSG have done this wrong, and FSG have... going back to what we said at the very start, it feels a little bit tough. And I know there'll be loads of fans who support all the clubs going, you entitled bastards. You're in the top four. You're champions. You won the European Cup not long ago. And you're saying it's tough. You want to try and be supporting us. We've been down. We've been up. We've won nothing. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. This is now we saw it, is it? This is now we dreamt it, is probably the problem.
At the same time, fish and chip wrappers, like... It's going to the papers and the stories and the articles are history already. Like what I read yesterday and the day before is already in the past. It's every single league, every single year, football has been on our minds. It's the same rotation of how things work, right? Unless you have a sustained run of form. Like, you mentioned Man United there now. They had that sustained run of form in the early 2000s. Chelsea tried to have the sustained run of form. This is probably the closest Man City are coming to that sustained run of form. Right, having won it a couple of seasons ago, didn't get close last year, but finished second, and probably will win it now. This is their version of that. So it's important you don't get dragged into this. I can't believe they're writing that about us now, and I can't believe this is fucking bollocks. I can't believe it. I'm getting really down by it. Like my wife's just had our first little baby there a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't see the Man City match, right? Because I was fucking knuckles deep in shitty nappies and trying to move house at the same time, right? I was just getting the notifications on my phone, and I was kind of like, thank God I'm not watching that match. When it went 1-1, I was like, right, I'm going to see if I can get the second half, and that just didn't happen. And then I got to the end of it and I went, bollocks, we lost 4-1. But I wasn't as pissed off because I went, look, that's fish and chip wrappers now. The articles that are going to come out that are shite about Liverpool now are going to be in the past very quickly. But you and I as journalists, probably the two of us with a small J, we'll do this about a different club.
Yeah.
if City fall off their perch, we'll say these things and do these things. If United don't finish in the top four, we'll be the ones who'll go, aha, you didn't finish in top four. Yeah, Ollie's at the wheel. So you just take it as one big football and microcosm and you just go, right, it's shit that we're not the top of the league at the moment. It's shit that we probably won't win the league at the minute. But I hate to be too overly sort of serious about things, but there are more serious things happening in the world at the moment than 11 lads playing football and your team not winning every week. Do you know what I mean? And I know football fans are going to look at this and go, yeah, but you're on a fucking football podcast now talking about football. Don't be hypocritical.
What you're on about there, though, as well, a bit of sort of, consideration for them might not go amiss from some people. I think, there's obviously a big conversation going on right now about the way some people, it's always worth stressing, are behaving on social media these days. Obviously, had the Mike Dean being the extreme thing over the last few days. But, you see it all the time. You lose a football match, whoever you might be. And it's the go-to for a lot of people to just go on and, abuse you to the high heavens. And I retweeted something this morning. I think it was Deno from 5 Live had tweeted, which was something Henderson had done in the programme, which I'd passed me by.
Yeah,
it was good, wasn't it? And it was like, I like the points that Hendo was making in there about sort of, when people say, well, just don't go on it. And it's like, well, why shouldn't they be allowed to go on it? Like, it's a part of life now, isn't it? That, not everyone, but a lot of people have got social media, have got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and all that. Why should players not be, be told to not go on it because of the shit they're going to get? Why can't people just behave themselves a little bit and put it into some sort of context?
Yeah, but we have to be careful as well that we don't become hypocrites as well, because I love it when you say stuff and write stuff good, really sort of pot mixing shit when you get a victory over United or City. I love all that. We can't be hypocrites.
I know. There's a balance, though, isn't there? Sure.
There's a balance.
There's death threats and racism and stuff like that is obviously the line that no one should be crossing.
Yeah.
I always think there's stuff to aim at. You can, what you're talking about there. There's stuff to aim at. There's stuff you can have a laugh with. There's stuff you can poke. You know what I mean? Without going too personal with things. You know what I mean?
I like. Oh, I get solace in a couple of things, specifically when we go on a bad run. I think this, and I'm not just saying this because I happen to be on Talking Reds at the moment. I think you at the Anfield Wrap, for example, do your best work when we're in a crisis of some description. I think I calm down an awful lot more when I listen to a reasoned outlook as to why things don't go well. And I also like to look at Hendo and Trent specifically, and sometimes Andy Robertson, what they say about it. Because you're always in the mindset that they're doing absolutely everything they can to make it right.
Yeah.
You look at Hendo and you look at that article you're talking about, and you can tell they're hurting now. If you think we're hurting as fans, you can tell how much Hendo's hurting. He knows he brought the club to a certain level and he wants to stay there. He wants to be remembered as great, right? And I think he probably has one more big footballing challenge in him from a Liverpool perspective, either winning a league or winning another big trophy as captain. You look at Trent and what he says, and you look at how he says it, and you look when he's coming off the field and what he looks like, he really is hurting. Yeah. Andy Robbo's very similar personality to them. So I have a wee bit of, it makes me feel a bit better. It gives me a bit of solace. So I'd say to anybody who is feeling a bit pissed off about just being in the top four, just still being in the Champions League, being current champions and winning the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, not a bad place to be in, but I am sort of a wee bit more relaxed when I think, right, listen to the Anfield Wrap stuff, listen to the measured view on it, listen to some of the articles you were talking about as well there now as well. And look how
is good in the Athletic. I would recommend that one.
Look how much the lads are hurting and they're doing all they can, and you just have to go, okay, it's a little bit hypocritical again being a podcast, but it's only football.
Well, thanks for the plug there, mate, because there is an awful lot of stuff on the Anfield Wrap right now, which people are feeding back saying is very cathartic. There is a review on there which is getting lots of stars from people, so go and check that one out. There is a chat as well. We put out a special AFQ, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically answering questions but about anything. But they did a special one sort of straight after the game, and it was more of a sort of, this is how I feel about life right now type of thing. It was quite deep. But I think people have enjoyed stuff like that because we are in a unique circumstance this time around, of course. We're not in the grounds, we're not in the pubs. You know, that's what's hurting a little bit for me, I think, in that, you've got to listen. We haven't got to, but it's harder not to listen to journalists of Martin Tyler and stuff like that because I'm not in the pub with my mates.
And there's a big element of that venting thing. And I found a couple of weeks ago, I think it was when West Brom equalised a couple of weeks ago, it's just me and my missus in the sitting room.
Yeah.
And the game after that is just me and my missus in the sitting room. And the game after that is just me and my missus in the sitting room. And she's a massive Red as well. And I found myself, throwing my phone across the room and all. And she says to me, look, we aren't going to be in a pub or a football pitch or around your friends anytime soon. You're going to have to get a grip here. And my father-in-law is the same. He's a big Red too. And we try not, when the bad results happen, we don't try not to dwell on it. But we have said to each other, look, you need to find a way. And the same when they're winning, by the way. Jumping around a room in your own, just with you and the missus when they score, it doesn't feel the same. So you kind of have to accept that this is a bit all over the place at the moment. And that you have to deal with it in the best possible way. And look, football sometimes is great for your mental health, but sometimes it isn't. It's the polar opposite to that. And we have to learn how to deal with it. And we have to come up with ways that it is just going to be you in your living room. That, just take a breath, take a wee step back. And like I said, top 4, current champions of England, Champions League winners a couple of seasons ago. It's not that bad.
We were talking about this on an AFQ at the end of last week. I won't reveal the contributor who it was because I'd like you all to obviously subscribe and go and listen. But I will tell you what he said because it absolutely cracked me up. So we were talking about exactly what you're saying about being at home, being with the family, trying to watch the footy match, knowing that you get carried away and trying not to get carried away because your family's literally there. And he said, and he said, like, he's been told off repeatedly by his missus for how he is around football matches. And I think he said it was the United game in the cup. He said when they got the free kick on the edge of the box at the end, he said he just put his t-shirt over his mouth like this. And then, Fernandez obviously steps up, puts it in, and we're not coming back from that basically. And he said he had the t-shirt like that, and he said he just pulled it, just ripped it right down the front, and ended up basically wearing like a waistcoat version of his t-shirt. And he said I just went for a walk with this little waistcoat.
What's done for me is if it's getting to me, it's all even sort of towards the end of matches, I try and go for a run or something. I try and do something.
Yeah, I went on the bike the other night.
Yeah, it's just look, get it out of your head, get it away, get a couple of endorphins in your body, and just go. And even I find this really helpful. I find having a chat with you about it now really helpful. I find, like I said, listen to the lads talking about it really helpful. I find being in this tiny little room, like you said, with your family, just looking at one screen, listening to Martin Tyler and going, and you're not winning. And, you can let it really wind you up. But like I said a couple minutes ago, read Hendo, read Trent, listen to Robbo and see what they're saying, because they're probably hurting more than we are. Yeah. Easy saying that you're getting 125 grand a week. Oh yeah, you'd be hurting. But
they're still humans.
They're still humans.
Yeah, they're still humans.
And like we said, we say this, 4th in the league.
Currently, it's not over.
Haven't been the Champions League winners a couple of seasons ago.
Beat Leicester, beat Leipzig, beat Everton. The world will be a better fucking place. If you want some of the cathartic stuff we've talked about, it is there on the Anfield Wrap. Go and check it out. There is free stuff as well as premium content. If you want to try some of the premium content, download the app. You get free tokens. You can have a go of it. Connor, thanks very much for coming on today. I've enjoyed the chat, mate. It's made me feel an awful lot better. I hope everyone watching feels an awful lot better as well. And do post your congratulations to Connor, the new dad, in the comments. Be nice. Be nice to each other.
Another Red. We've given birth to another Red. So listen, the Red family's getting bigger.
Is right. Exactly that. Up the fucking Reds.